Okay, just like last video, um, I'm doing more sad stuff. So yeah. Okay, awful things done in the name of conversion therapy. I'm only doing some of the therapies because, well, I'm only reading some of the things they did. So, electroshock therapy. In its early days, gay conversion therapy was carried out in a manner more akin to torture than therapy. A number of brutal techniques were used in attempts to convert gay people into straight people, and these continued well into the 1970s. Chief among these was electroshock therapy, used to short out certain brain pathways and make the patient forget they were gay. This had virtually no effect on patients. Crack psychology. Conversion therapy has advanced numerous pseudoscientific ideas in the field of psychotherapy, some of which have been debunked for decades. Some of these include watching heterosexual adult film accusing patients' parents of being overbearing or abusive and advocating boys distance themselves from female friends. Later attempts at gay conversion through therapy have involved therapists abusing the trust of their patients by forcing them to perform acts in order to reclaim their orientation. Mainstream professional organizations related to psychology have rejected all of these techniques. Exorcisms. While not a therapy per se, one of the most extreme modern practices of gay conversion is the debunked and dangerous practice of exorcism. In 2009, Manifested Glory Ministries was sharply criticized when a 20-minute YouTube video showed a 16-year-old being subjected to an exorcism to cure him of his homosexuality. In the video, the boy is forcibly held by the arms while a pastor screams, "Come on, you homosexual demon, you homosexual spirit. We call you out right now. Lose your grip, Lucifer." The boy eventually vomited, and the church defended its actions, saying, "We believe a man should be with a woman." Gay conversion camps are run by numerous church groups and have been investigated by journalists to see what really goes on there. While much of it is fairly harmless prayer, singing, and role-playing, it's carried out by unlicensed therapists in secluded camps out in the desert or in other countries free from U.S. laws. These camps often run into the thousands of dollars and are almost always non-refundable and force their attendees to sign confidentiality agreements. 3 South African men, Eric Collins, 25, Nicholas van der Walt, 19, and Raymond Bies, 15, all died as a result of abuse and starvation at a gay conversion camp there over a 5-year period. Among the indignities to which they were subjected were beatings, being chained to their beds, and being forced to eat their own waste. The three weren't even confirmed to be gay or to have come out to anyone, only that their families felt they had feminine traits. To echo wild game rangers, camp employees were arrested and charged with murder for the death of Raymond Byes. And here's the most heartbreaking one. There's no evidence that any kind of medication or pharmaceutical has any effect on a person's sexual orientation. Despite this, conversion practitioners continue prescribing everything from antidepressants to Viagra to cure being gay. The 2014 South End of Leelah Alcorn, a 17-year-old whose parents put her on Prozac and forced her to attend Christian therapists, is one of the terrible tragedies that spurred President Obama to speak about ending gay conversion therapy in America once and for all. Even after Alcorn died, her parents continued to refer to her as him and refused to acknowledge that she was transgender. Okay, so I'm gonna read her letter that was posted on her Tumblr. Okay, if you are reading this, it means that I have ended myself and obviously failed to delete this post from my queue. Please don't be sad, it's for the better. The life I would have lived isn't worth living in because I'm transgender. I could go into detail explaining why I feel that way, but this note is probably going to be lengthy enough as is. To put it simply, I feel like a girl trapped in a boy's body, and I felt that way ever since I was 4. I never knew there was a word for that feeling, nor was it possible for a boy to become a girl. So I never told anyone, and I just continued to do traditionally boyish things to try to fit in. When I was 14, I learned what transgender meant and cried of happiness. After 10 years of confusion, I finally understood who I was. I immediately told my mom, and she reacted extremely negatively, telling me that it was a phase, that I would never truly be a girl, that God doesn't make mistakes, that I am wrong. If you are reading this, parents, please don't tell this to your kids. Even if you are Christian or are against transgender people, don't ever say that to someone, especially your kid. That won't do anything but make them hate themselves. That's exactly what it did to me. My mom started taking me to a therapist, but would only take me to Christian therapists who were all very biased. So I never actually got the therapy I needed to cure me of my depression. I only got more Christians telling me that I was selfish and wrong and that I should look to God for help. When I was 16, I realized that my parents would never come around and that I would have to wait until I was 18 to start any sort of transitioning treatment, which absolutely broke my heart. The longer you wait, the harder it is to transition. I felt hopeless, that I was just going to look like a man in drag for the rest of my life. On my 16th birthday, when I didn't receive consent from my parents to start transitioning, I cried myself to sleep. I formed a sort of a fuck you attitude towards my parents and came out as gay at school. thinking that maybe if I eased into coming out as trans, it would be less of a shock. Although the reaction from my friends was positive, my parents were pissed. They felt like I was attacking their image and that I was an embarrassment to them. They wanted me to be their perfect little straight Christian boy, and that's obviously not what I wanted. So they took me out of public school, took away my laptop and phone, and forbid me of getting on any sort of social media, completely isolating me from my friends. This was probably the part of my life when I was the most depressed, and I'm surprised I didn't end myself. I was completely alone for 5 months. No friends, no support, no love. Just my parents' disappointment and the cruelty of loneliness. At the end of the school year, my parents finally came around and gave me my phone and let me back on social media. I was excited. I finally had my friends back. They were extremely excited to see me and talk to me, but only at first. Eventually, they realized they didn't actually give a shit about me, and I felt even lonelier than I did before. The only friends I thought I had only liked me because they saw me 5 times a week. After a summer of having almost no friends, plus the weight of having to think about college, save money for moving out, keep my grades up, go to church each week, and feel like shit because everyone there is against everything I live for, I have decided I've had enough. I'm never going to transition successfully, even when I move out. I'm never going to be happy with the way I look or sound. I'm never going to have enough friends to satisfy me. I'm never going to have enough love to satisfy me. I'm never going to find a man who loves me. I'm never going to be happy. Either I live the rest of my life as a lonely man who wishes he were a woman, or I live my life as a lonelier woman who hates herself. There's no winning. There's no way out. I'm sad enough already. I don't need my life to get any worse. People say it gets better, but that isn't true in my case. It gets worse. Each day I get worse. That's the gist of it. That's why I feel like ending myself. Sorry if that's not a good enough reason for you. It's good enough for me. As for my will, I want 100% of the things that I legally own to be sold, and the money plus my money in the bank to be given to trans civil rights movements and support groups. I don't give a shit which one. The only way I will rest in peace is if one day transgender people aren't treated the way I was. They're treated like humans with valid feelings and human rights. Gender needs to be taught about in schools. The earlier the better. My death needs to mean something. My death needs to be counted in the number of transgender people who ended themselves this year. I want someone to look at that number and say, that's fucked up, and fix it. Fix society, please. Goodbye, Leelah Alcorn. This is the second part. And now for my sorry notes to some people I knew. Amanda, you are going to have such a wonderful life. You are the most talented and pretty little girl I've ever met. And I love you so much, Amanda. Please don't be sad. I'm going to miss you so very much. I love you. Tiffany, we haven't talked much recently since we're both so busy, but I'm so happy you're my sister. You're so courageous and determined to achieve what you want. You can accomplish anything. I love you. Justin, we've been jerks to each other a lot recently, but I really do love you. You get on my nerves almost all the time, but no matter what, a part of me will always love you. Sorry for picking on you so much when we were kids. Wyland, I'm so sorry I'm never there for you. I love you so much. Abby, thank you for dealing with my pathetic problems. All I did was make your life harder, and I'm sorry. Mom and Dad, fuck you. You can't just control people like that. That's messed up. I don't really feel the need to apologize to anyone else. Odds are you didn't give a shit about me. And if you do, you did something that made me feel like shit, and you don't deserve an apology. Also, anyone who says something like, I wish I got to know him better, or I wish I treated him better, gets a punch in the nose. And that's the end of the note. Leelah's note is actually so sad. Anyway, we have to continue. The principal face of the Christian effort to use devotional prayer and gay conversion therapy was Exodus International, an umbrella organization of over 300 Protestant and evangelical ministries spread over nearly 20 countries, with a mission to convert homosexuals to heterosexuals. Exodus later changed its focus to modifying behavior rather than sexual orientation. The Book of North. The trade organization for gay conversion therapy is the National Association for Research and Therapy of Homosexuality. North, founded in 1992, claims it's a non-denominational and secular organization dedicated to telling the truth about homosexuality being a mental disorder. Funny thing is, homosexuality was once considered a mental disorder, but it ended up changing because people would call in sick to work and say, I can't come in today, I caught the gay, or something like that, and so they took it out of the DMS. Of course, I'm kidding about the whole thing. Besides the part that it was once considered a mental disorder, and the fact that it was removed from the DMS. Okay, in March 2018, a story broke involving regarding gay conversion therapist Dr. Melvin Icecove. Despite the fact Icecove had long claimed homosexuality was a disease that could be overcome, he had been engaging in various sexual acts with his clients since the 1990s and early 2000s. Two male clients came forward to say Icecove had abused them in their 20s and claimed Icecove engaged in inappropriate contact with them during therapy sessions. After day I confessed to having gay thoughts. A Toronto court found Icecove guilty of sexual abuse due to these and other actions. Okay. See, this is what I mean. Oh, it's DSM, not DMS. Heck, even history has something on it. So yeah. Okay, and now times people try to erase us from history. I have done a scientific study on lesbians. How many lesbians did you include the study? Dot dot dot. The Cypriot researchers from the University of Nicosia surveyed a total of 1,509 heterosexual participants for their study. Are you shitting me? AFKG JFNDJDJSJ. Assassin's Creed Odyssey lets you be as gay as you want. This takes place in ancient Greece, right? The Greeks followed religious doctrine, so they would kill somebody for being gay. Therefore, the series, if this series, which prides itself in its historical realism, apart from characters having an impact, is gonna add this, it's wrong. LOL, you think ancient Greece wasn't gay? I know ancient Greece followed Christianity. That person deserves to facepalm themselves because they didn't even do research. Alan Turing, World War II codebreaker and mathematician, will be the face of new Bank of England €50 note. A white straight cis male, groundbreaking. He was openly gay. Portrait of a Lady on Fire explores a fascinating friendship. Yeah, I don't think friends do that. There is no clue as to what these two women in bed together are doing. Well, they obviously don't have shirts on, so... Lovers of Modena skeletons holding hands were both men. Researchers believe pair might have been siblings, cousins, or soldiers who died together. Okay, so, people who are transphobic will say, well, once you die, they will dig up your bones. It's like they completely forget, uh, cremating someone, exists. Anyway, bye.